Good day, everyone. My name is Rabi Hassan from Department of Business Administration. I'm going to take you on EEP Module 8, which is Social Entrepreneurship. So let me share my screen. So social entrepreneurship. If you can remember, from Module 1 up to Module 8, up to Module 7, all what have been discussing is about economic entrepreneurship, where people go into entrepreneurship purposely for economic gain, that is to make money. So this one is different. Social entrepreneurship is not primarily about making money. Most situation is about, using a kind of social innovation to solve social problems. So we are going to see. So it is important to know that our environment or society is constantly and rapidly changing. A lot of things are happening in our environment, things are changing. And because of these changes, a lot of things, are happening. Most societies are dealing with social challenges that government alone cannot solve them. The reason why we are having problems all over around, and even though we have government at various levels, federal, state, local, but still these problems are persistent because they are too much to the extent that government alone cannot solve them, which means other people or group of individuals need to come into play to, help in tackling these problems. Problems such as poverty, diseases, poor quality education, slavery and human trafficking, violence, environmental degradation and pollution, and so many other problems, environmental problems, social problems that call for more creative and innovative approach in tackling them. The reason why, we are having all these problems in the first place is, number one, they are too much. Number two, there are no very innovative approach in tackling them. Let's take the example of unemployment. Over the years, government at various levels have been trying, very hard to make sure they curtail the problem of unemployment in Nigeria. But still the problem is persistent. Why? Because most of the approaches, applied to this problem, in most situations are not very innovative and creative that can, curtail the problem on a massive scale. So this kind of, GAV, called for the intervention of what we call social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs are people who are very creative, who have innovative solution to most of the problems we are having in our society. So this is the reasons, more individuals, NGOs, philanthropy, and other interest groups are making several attempts in providing solution to mankind challenges, because government alone cannot solve them. And even if government can do, they have no innovative or creative method to solve them. So the problem will continue, persisting. Without the intervention of this, interest group, the problem will continue indefinitely. So we need social entrepreneurs. So social entrepreneurship as a concept is new, but the practice of it has been with us for time immemorial. Social entrepreneurship, as a concept, entrepreneurship is a new thing. But the actual practice, has been with the society, time immemorial. Nobody can trace when social entrepreneurship started, because history is replete with a lot of people who organize themselves, who make an effort to solve some certain problems in their society. If you can trace the history, there are a lot of in Nigeria we have people like Modern Fumilayo Ramson Kuti, Queen Aminat of Zazzau, Zaria, Moromi of Ile-Ife, Kensara Wiwa of Ogoniland, Mala Amin Kano, and many other people who organize people, and work toward solving societal problem. So the practice has been with the society since before the concept is identified as social entrepreneurship. So meaning of social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship, means a lot of things to a lot of people, because, most situation people don't even know what social entrepreneurship really mean, because what readily comes to their mind in most situation is maybe philanthropy organization, because the moment you mention social entrepreneurship, people think about philanthropy approach, but this is quite different from that. This is much more than philanthropy approach to solving problems. Entrepreneurship is a mission, it's a social mission of finding innovative ways of solving social problems that are not being or cannot be addressed by either the market or the public sector. According to this definition, by Tyson, 2004, it's a mission, it's a social mission. It's any endeavor that is geared toward society of finding innovative ways, better, more creative ways of solving these societal problems that are not being or cannot be addressed by either the market or the public sector. Ordinarily, under normal circumstances, private enterprises, entrepreneurs, and what have you, they have what we call business social responsibility, where they need to come into play, where in provision of a public good to their community, immediate community. But because they are, one thing in this respect, and the public sector too, that is the government is not doing what it's supposed to do with regards to solving this kind of problem. So the problem cannot be addressed by these two actors. So these people, mission-driven individual with very innovative social solution to problems normally come into play because of these people weaknesses, because of the two sectors weaknesses, the public and private sector. Social entrepreneurs come into play with their creative solution to solve such kind of problems. We are going to see a lot of examples where social entrepreneurship is being used to address a particular problem. So it is an organizational venture, not for profit and for profit. It's an organizational venture that could be for profit, which is primarily created for profit, but geared towards solving a particular societal problem, like unemployment. To provide employment to people, you can create a business. That business could be with the motive of profit making or not. But the primary effort or aim is to provide employment to the people that you're going to eventually employ with your business. And it could also be non-for-profit, an organization where the primary objective is to reach out to a particular individual to solve their problem. So social entrepreneurship could be an organizational venture for profit or not for profit that bring about communal or social change, that temper the status quo, that change the way things are happening in the society, that try to solve a particular problem. So another one says, social entrepreneurship is offered in a narrow sense as the phenomenon of applying business expertise and market-based skills in not-for-profit sectors, such as when non-profit organizations develop innovative approaches to earn income. This is the definition that best describes social entrepreneurship. It's a process of using a business expertise to solve societal problem. Like, for example, somebody who wants to maybe reduce the number of child beggars in our streets, that person can engage those children into a business-like activity. Like, for example, you can create a venture where you'll be selling things to people, and the sellers could be those boys he's trying to salvage out of the street begging. So it can take a lot of forms. Innovative way of maybe using a business skills to run a venture that will help a particular problem. The business skills is going to help the business to sustain it by earning money that will keep it running. Because in a normal business operation, you may need to buy raw materials, you may need to pay your employee their salary and wages, you may need to pay a lot of bills and what have you. Now all this can only happen if you have a business-like activity that will be bringing in money to the venture. So that is what this definition is trying to say. So social entrepreneurship, is nothing but using a kind of a business-like way to solve a particular societal problem. That is social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is not, using a money as a grant from other people or donation or something like that to solve a particular problem. Social entrepreneurship is about sustainability, because when the grant is not coming, what is going to happen to your venture if you don't have a business-like way of earning your own income? So social entrepreneurship is all about using a business-like way, methods or processes to engage so that you can be able to generate money to sustain your venture, to be able to solve the problem you are targeting with your intervention. So example, an organization that aims to provide housing and employment to homeless may operate a restaurant or a small firm both to raise money and at the same time to provide employment for the homeless. In this situation, the homeless people could be the employee in the restaurant. You understand? Engaging them to allow them to be gainfully employed to be able to earn something to help themselves. One reason that normally people put people at disadvantage economic-wise is when they are socially excluded from the mainstream economic activities. And the best way to do this is to provide employment, provide education, and things like this to people. Once you do that, you're going to include them in the main economic activity. So they will not be excluded and they'll be part of the system. So in Nigeria, there are numerous social challenges which offer young people an opportunity to make difference in their community and become gainfully employed. The essence of these entrepreneurship programs is to help students, be on their own, maybe after graduation. You don't have to depend on government or anybody to give you a job. You have what it takes to go into your own, entrepreneurship. And this entrepreneurship opportunities are not only in economic sector. There are so many opportunities in the social entrepreneurship, because we have a lot of problems that need creative individual with a very creative solutions. So there are a lot of opportunities. If you look at your community, you see a lot of problems which need you to make an effort to solve using a business-like way, that is social entrepreneurship. So another example, possibility of applying social entrepreneurship style to tackle begging in Kano State. Example, a model of a garbage and waste recycling business that offers employment opportunities and environmental hygiene can do a lot of good in tackling the issue of street begging. This is another, entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship intervention. We have, issue of street begging and environmental pollution in Kano State. So using this model, you can solve these two problems simultaneously. You can help engage those small children that are begging, and even the adults that are begging in major street in Kano State, by engaging them in waste recycling, business. You engage them to be collecting all the waste, disposed by people, as they go about their activities. So it's a very good way that can help solve the problem of environmental hygiene, because all the litter, stuff on the street will be taken care of by these guys, and they will be engaged doing legitimate business where they'll be earning money, and this will take them away from the begging. So solving two problems with one solution. So this is how social entrepreneurship solves societal problem. Is it unemployment? Is it poverty? Is it marriage breakdown, divorce, and what have you? Divorce issues, whatever issues it may be, social entrepreneurship has a solution to it. So all you have to do as a potential social entrepreneur is to think creatively on how you can solve this kind of problem using a business-like way or method. So another one, Affordable Medical Services. A group of medical doctors can form an organization that offers good medical services to the less privileged at a lower fees compared to one charged by private or even government hospital. We have, healthcare crisis in Nigeria. Let's say Kano State. Because right now, if you go to our main Kano Murtala Mohammed Hospital, you see people, jam-packed, trying to seek medical attention. You understand? Even though it's a public hospital, the services are affordable to most of the poor people around, but the services are not standard compared to the private clinic in the state. So medical doctors can form an organization, offering their expertise, to offer medical services to the less privileged at a very lower cost. The essence of the cost is to provide a way of earning income to the organization so that it continue surviving, because they will need supplies for the medical supplies like the medicine, the cotton, all this, chemical and what have you that need to be used in the clinic to take care of the patient, needs to be supplied regularly. And this can only be done if there is a regular source of income to the organization. So the fees that are going to be charged, very little fees are going to help the organization to sustain it, to continue offering these services to the less privileged. So in such a way, the medical doctors are helping to provide affordable quality medical service to the less privileged in Kano State. A lot of people, are finding it very difficult to afford, medical service, good medical service. So if this intervention can come a long way, it will really help to solve this problem. And then affordable quality education, like people from, education department or faculty, graduate from this faculty can form an organization where they can create a school-like, activity where they will be teaching, less privileged quality education. If you look at our public primary and secondary school, you will see that you find out that most of their services are very, very below average, below standard. The quality of education is very poor. No father is willing to enroll his child in such school, because of the economic condition of the country or states. So anybody who can afford normally takes his child or what to private school because of the nature of the education. So if these guys can create an organization that cater for less privileged children, exclusively less privileged children, where they'll be charging them very moderate, very small amount of fees to sustain the school, not to make profit, but to sustain it. You understand? This can go a long way in helping or bridging the gap in terms of quality education to the less privileged people in Kano State. So there are more examples. Social entrepreneurship in the form of various social interventions or innovation has been used in many situations to advance people out of critical condition. See the case of Paradigm Initiative Nigeria, PIN. It's an initiative by one Benga Sesson, it's a young man that came out with an initiative to help people with ICT skills. His effort, have helped in curtailing the level of cyber crimes in Nigeria, because most guys that are good in ICT and what have you are engaged by this initiative to be gainfully employed to offer their services to the companies or corporate organizations that need them. We have tomato juice Tomato juice is a social, intervention that help people, mostly tomato farmers in Nigeria. The initiators, discovered that, people, yearly, waste a lot of tomatoes. And at the same time, Nigerian people buy tomato paste from foreign countries. So this guy thought, why not create an organization that will be utilizing the locally produced tomatoes to be producing the tomato paste for the Nigerian market. And these people, went into business, servicing Nigerian market paste, tomato paste need, and at the same time, helping the poor farmers to be able to buy their tomatoes so that they will not waste it. Because over the years, they have been wasting a lot of tomatoes. Each year, they waste a lot of tomatoes. But because of this company's intervention, a lot of farmers are enjoying their farming, because whatever they produce, quantity of tomatoes they produce, this company can be able to absorb it, buy it, and process it to produce tomato paste. And then we have Recycling Point in Lagos. It's an initiative where, in collaboration with Lagos State Government, where this company, have a program or initiative where, household individuals, are allowed to submit their leather and, similar products to the company. We will give them a point, which will accumulate to allow them to get a particular, household, tools or cash, you understand, based on the number of points they accumulated, based on the number of items, waste items they give to the company. So it's a company that is, helping to ensure environmental cleanliness, and at the same time help people get rid of their unwanted, rubber-based products. And this company at the same time, engage a lot of people, employ a lot of people, So it's helping a lot of, serving a lot of services. And then we have a microcredit scheme in Bangladesh. There is a well-known entrepreneur, Mohammed Yunus, in Bangladesh, who was the brain behind the microfinance bank we are having all over the world now. This guy, through his initiative, salvage, mostly women, unbankable, group of individuals in this country out of poverty because of his initiative. And is acknowledged as one of the best examples of social entrepreneurs in our time. And then we have big issue in Scotland, process where they engage, unemployed people to dispatch, their magazine issues, gently employing, unemployed people. Colectivous waste recycling initiative in Brazil, just like the recycling point in Lagos, and many more social enterprises and innovations that offer lasting solution to targeted communities' problem worldwide. Students can Google and get more examples of, social entrepreneurs activities in Nigeria and Africa and world over. There are a lot of examples, where people use, creative, market-based solution to solve social problems which government alone cannot solve. The goal of social entrepreneurship. Now, social entrepreneurship is about drive for creation of new social value, rather than maintaining status quo or pursuit of personal and shareholder wealth. Unlike, economic entrepreneurship, where the primary motive is to make money, social entrepreneurship is much more than that. It's all about, solving societal problems. That's the main goal of social entrepreneurship. So the central driver for social entrepreneurship is the innovative solution to social problems. We mentioned a lot of similar example of social problems, like, unemployment, child begging, poverty, diseases, and what have you. They are all social problems. So these social entrepreneurs are targeting these kind of problems with their very innovative solutions. So difference between economic or business entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs. Business entrepreneurs purposely set up business to make money through profits. Like I told you earlier on, economic entrepreneurs primarily, create ventures to make money, to increase their wealth, while social entrepreneurs use business model to sustain the venture. On the other hand, social entrepreneurs use business like buying and selling, producing and selling, offering services for sale, and so many other business model to sustain their venture so that they continue providing their social service to the target audience or people. You understand? These are the major differences. These people go into business because they want to make profit. This one go into business because they want to provide income for their activity so that they continue doing the activity to help people out of their problems. And then business entrepreneurs are more interested in business opportunities that can increase their wealth. On the other hand, social entrepreneurs are more interested in opportunities that can increase societal standard of living. These entrepreneurs are after opportunities that will help them make more and more money. But this one, they are after problems that they can provide very creative solutions to make life better for people. Last one says, business entrepreneurs typically measure success or performance in profit or returns, but social entrepreneurs take into account a positive return to society. Ordinary entrepreneurs, measure their performance through profit. How much money they make is what, signifies their performance. But these entrepreneurs look at, the number of problems they solve in the society. How many people they salvage out of poverty, how many diseases they cure, how many interventions they give to people. That's what they count as their performance, as their success. So these are the major differences. There are a lot of other differences, but these are the most important, differences we need to talk about in this course. So why social entrepreneurship? Why somebody needs to use a business-like way to sustain his philanthropy activity or any, social activity? Why somebody needs to use social entrepreneurship? One reason that brought about the emergence of social entrepreneurs is the failure of the for-profit organization in social responsibility. Initially I talk about business social responsibility, where businesses are compelled or, are supposed to share part of their profit with the community within which they are residing in. By way of business operation, businesses at times, pollute their community's environment, air pollution, noise pollution, and what have you. People at Sharada and some other industrial areas in Kano State and Nigeria can testify to this. How businesses are polluting the environment. So how can these businesses pay back to society? Is by, sharing some part of their profit in doing some community services to the community, like providing, water, like sponsoring the children of the inhabitant education, and doing so many other things, like providing electricity, building road network, and what have you. All these are some example of business social responsibility. So one thing that brought about the emergence of social entrepreneurs because of the failure of private organization in this respect, in this area of social responsibility. Businesses, in Nigeria and some other countries, are not, doing well with regards to social responsibility. So because of this, too much problems, so too much social problems, are on the rise day in, day out, which accumulated to become something uncontrollable or something beyond government capability, which needs social entrepreneurs to come into play with their creative solutions to solve this problem. And this is one of the reasons why we need social entrepreneurship. Second one is economic downturn that impaired access to grant and private donation by traditional not-for-profit organizations. Because of the economic issues, that is, bedeviling the countries, world over, grants that, this social, mission-driven organization normally gets are no longer coming. So for this organization to continue their activity, they need to create their way of earning their own income by using a business-like way, by buying and selling, by offering services for sale, by doing some consultancy services and what have you to people, so that they will be earning money that will help them sustain their venture, so that they continue helping people out of their problems. And the last one, the myriad of problems facing the world, also call for the action and collaboration between government and institutions of social entrepreneurship, because of enormous problem, too much problems that are disturbing people world over. Social entrepreneurs need to collaborate with government to combine efforts to tackle this kind of problems. So this is another factor that call for more social entrepreneurs to come and join force with government to fight these social problems. So these are the reasons why we need social entrepreneurship. Then who is a social entrepreneur? Who is a social entrepreneur? Social entrepreneur is a mission-driven individual who uses a set of entrepreneurial behavior. Entrepreneurial behavior. What are entrepreneurial behavior? Result-oriented, risk-taker, proactiveness, and all this. These are entrepreneurial behavior. Entrepreneurs by their behavior, they are open to opportunities, they are open to, they take risks, they do whatever it takes to fight for their business to make sure it survives. So these kind of skills are what's, that social entrepreneurs normally use in order to deliver social value to the less privileged, to people who ordinarily cannot afford or cannot get this kind of services by their status in the society. All through an entrepreneurially oriented entity that is financially independent. Why? Because it has its own way of generating income. So it is financially independent. And when an organization is financially independent, especially philanthropy organization, it continues providing its service without any conditions from anybody. If a social enterprise can 100% depend on donations or grants, some part of their activities are going to be constrained by the conditions that those grants and donations normally come with. Like, for example, on a personal basis, if I will be giving you money, sometimes I will give you conditions. So the same thing with the social entrepreneurs organization. Most of the times when they receive donations or grants, those grants come with conditions, and those conditions, constrain them from operating their service as they want to. So in order to be financially independent, so that you do whatever you want to do without anybody's, constraint or constraining you, you have to be financially independent, or self-sufficient, or sustainable. You understand? So these are social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs are individuals with innovative solutions to society's most pressing social problems. Most pressing social problems. What are the most pressing social problems in Nigeria? Unemployment, insecurity, corruption. These are most disturbing social problems in Nigeria. So social entrepreneurs are people that normally come up with solutions to these kind of problems. They are ambitious and persistent, tackling major social issues and offering new ideas for wide-scale change. You understand? So these are social entrepreneurs. Then example of social entrepreneurs. History is replete with great men and women who distinguish themselves as social entrepreneurs. You check history, you see a lot of social entrepreneurs, people who created a very creative solutions or innovation that tackle a particular social problems in their times. There are a number of this kind of people. This group of men and women have changed the course of history in their areas of social entrepreneurial focus. Some of the examples are their activities, and their activities are presented as follows. Number one, we have Muhammad Yunus. Muhammad is a professor in Bangladesh who provide credit to the unbankable poor, especially women, to move them out of poverty. He is credited with the invention of microfinance institution that is helping people in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. All the microfinance banks we have been seeing all over around are the creation of this individual. This person is the brain behind those microfinance banks. He conceived the idea of creating something like that, to help people that are mostly unbankable, people who don't have what it takes to approach the conventional banks for loan or something of that nature. He created this microfinance bank to help them, mostly women. Women in most of our societies are the ones at disadvantage by their, nature. You understand? Well, by culture and what have you, the way society regard them. We don't give them an active role in most of the economic activity. As such, they always be at disadvantage. So this guy, discovered this weakness and then tried to solve it with this intervention, microcredit scheme. Very good example of social entrepreneurship. In Nigeria, we have Benga Swissan, African Social Entrepreneur of the Year 2014. He is the brain behind Paradigm Initiative Nigeria. The vision is to connect unserved young Nigerians with ICT-enabled opportunities to improve their livelihood. Solving these twin problems, unemployment and cybercrime, is at the heart of FIN strategy. Its model involves a prolonged approach of capacity building, ICT empowerment, and ICT policy intervention. FIN offers income-generating ICT training and social media consultancy to private or non-profit organizations that need them, working with FIN's graduates as implementing partners. Current partners include Theory Foundation, Internews, Microsoft, and Google. Because of these guys' effort, a lot of guys are engaged. Guys who ordinarily would engage in a cybercrime and some other unethical activities to make a living. You understand? But this guy creates this scheme where you engage them to offer their legitimate service to these companies for a fee. So this is the guy. Funding for social entrepreneurs. How can you, as a social entrepreneur, provide funding for your business? Or where do they get their money? Today, donor agencies have tightened their budget because of the economic downturn, because of the economic challenge that is disturbing the world. And then entrepreneurs need to avoid a situation of being dependent on donations. Why? Because donations do come with conditions which will constrain you from achieving whatever it is you want to achieve with a social intervention. For example, if a donation is coming from predominantly Muslim donors, those guys may try to constrain you from reaching out to some other people who are not Muslim or something like that. So conditions do come with this kind of donations and grants. So in order to avoid being constrained by these conditions, you need to use social entrepreneurship to source your own income so that you use it without anybody's interference. Entrepreneurial strategies are required to generating income. And income provides entrepreneurs with opportunity in meeting their stated mission and objectives. So, if you are, making your own money, which you're going to be using to offer these social services, you don't have to wait for anybody. You just focus on whatever it is you plan to do with your money, with your interventions. You understand? So somebody needs social entrepreneurship to provide a social service to the community he is targeting with. Then funds management. Non-profit organizations should always account for the funds generated from government or private grant and donations. Because you are offering social services to the community, it doesn't mean you cannot be accountable for the money you receive as a grant or donations. Even though we are agitating for social entrepreneurship, being independent, being creative in generating your own income. This cannot stop you from, attracting donations or grant from wealthy individuals, from government and what have you. So in a situation where you receive this kind of a donations or grant, you need to be accountable. You need to be accountable on how you dispose or use them. Then compensating your managers or workers, directors or trustees for their services. Reasonableness must be upheld in relation to current market rate for similar jobs in other organizations. Remember, you are the social entrepreneur, not your employee. So if you are pursuing a social mission, an organization, social organization, you are the only social entrepreneur. You are the only person with the motive. The people working for you are working for you because they want to earn their living out of it. They are just an ordinary employee. So in compensating them, you should try as much as you can to compensate them in commensurable to what is obtainable in other similar organizations, in private organizations or public organizations. And then ways government can support social entrepreneurship. There are a lot of, initiative ideas, social entrepreneurship ideas in Nigeria. And because of the nature of the business environment in Nigeria and some policies, people find it very difficult to actualize their ideas or to bring their ideas into fruition. So these are ways government can help to support social entrepreneurship in Nigeria. Number one, encourage social innovation by maybe rewarding exceptional social innovation. When somebody come up with a very creative idea to solve a particular social problem, government should reward that innovation so that other people will see and be encouraged. Then create an enabling environment for social innovation or entrepreneurship. Government can help in creating an enabling environment, like providing all the necessary social amenities by making, favorable policies to social entrepreneurs, by providing an avenue where social entrepreneurs can access funding with ease to support their social innovations. Where social entrepreneurial initiative for exceptional performance, and then scalable approaches. That is, government can help, potential social entrepreneurs in upscaling their ideas to reach out to wider, audience or wider people. And then they should help in producing knowledge, like this EEP we are having right now in our universities and colleges of education, is part of government effort in helping to support entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship in Nigeria. So government can, increase the tempo and in making sure that, our graduate, our student in secondary and primary school, are acquainted with the necessary or basic entrepreneurial skills to be able to create, this kind of social entrepreneurship ventures. So lastly, in view of its relevance to social change, because of, activities of social entrepreneurship, a lot of problems are being solved in Nigeria. A lot of interventions have been, used in Nigeria to address a lot of social problems. Employment have been generated, and a lot of things, are happening in the country because of social entrepreneurs' activity. So in view of the relevance to social change, social entrepreneurs should be supported by government and private individuals. And people should be encouraged to solve their problems and also undertake to contribute toward improving the society. And government should be encouraged to solve their own problem. Sometimes you don't have to wait for government. Government is dealing with a lot of things. Sometimes, waiting for government to come into your rescue may take forever because they have a lot of things. So sometimes you just have to find your way to create something that will help you solve a particular problem in your community or society. So you need to be a social entrepreneur. So thank you for your time. This is all we can take on this model. If you have any question regarding this model, you can drop it at the forum. Inshallah, I will respond, or one of the facilitators will respond to your question. So thank you once again.